Good morning, everybody. It's Nancy, and I've decided Christmas is over. Yep, I have packed 2/3 of it up. I've got another box or two here to sort through. I announced to Catherine yesterday, you know what, I when I say Catherine, I mean Catherine of Sunnyside Journals, Catherine Brown. Catherine, always forget what. Anyway, so this was my last project. I made these yesterday. So this was the same idea as these cards that I made on Saturday. This time I used a different color family. This was based on an idea I saw in a Somerset Holiday magazine by Diane Adams, and she can be found on Instagram at 2spotted_dogs, all one word. I got dust because I've been sorting and cleaning. Anyway, one of the things that she suggested was using glassine to look like tape, and I have a ton of old glassine envelopes that had stamps in them, because I've frequently bought other people's stamp collections, and a lot of them are no good because, you know, they've got a lot of writing on or whatever, but there's little strips that I can salvage, and I like that. I think I will use that again. It kind of looks like masking tape more than old yellow tape, but I do like it, especially with this color family. So the final thing I'm going to do on this is stitch around the perimeter. The backs are actually an envelope that I got a Christmas card in, and I thought that was perfect color. So those will be stitched and then put away for another Christmas. Okay, so I am in the mood for a huge journal. So I thought, let's get started on it. And I've had quite a few new subscribers in the last couple of weeks. So I thought, why not introduce myself? Be a refresher for some of you, but so I'm going to talk while I cut this apart. The date on this is 1909, and it's called The Quiver Illustrated. So what I believe this is a series of issues of magazines called The Quiver. I'm not sure, but it's like it's going to come right out. I probably don't even need a knife. It's going to come right out. I haven't done a blue journal. I'm not going to say ever, but I'm going to say it's been a long time if I have. And Kelly, you're probably going to remember. Did I get this when we were in Aberfoyle? It's not something I've had for a while. It's a relatively new purchase. So I feel like it must have been Aberfoyle. And I was there, Aberfoyle Antiques Market. I was there with Kelly and Catherine. Catherine, you won't remember. Hashtag blame the liver. Christmas gifts for the Children's Hospital. So let's see what this says. So I do think this was a magazine. Shopping on Christmas Eve. Aww. My darling, my child. So this is from December 1908, and then the year 1909. Okay. So I imagine there's probably a lot of good stuff in here I will want to use. I should look this up. Lots of illustrations. Oh, new competition for Quiver readers. A sewing machine, a thermos. You can get yourself a thermos. Huh. Oh, Exeter Cathedral. I don't know what this is. Pheasant shooting begins. I got no idea. I got no idea. Oh, Wedgwood pottery. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna scoop that over here. Let's take a look at what we got going on. So, I'm gonna pull back some of this. So as I said, I was going to introduce myself. For anybody that's new or anybody that has had burning questions for a while. So I'm not sure how long I've been doing YouTube. Definitely before COVID, as we measure everything these days, pre-COVID, post-COVID, around the time of COVID. Can't remember hashtag COVID. I think this is well bonded, so I'm not going to remove this paper. Let's look at the outside. So there's some rough patches here. And I think each cover is going to have to go into the book press. It's not too terrible filthy. I do enjoy the embossed image here and here. I think these are supposed to be pomegranates. Not sure. Yes. So let's do some measuring. That's big wide spine, 3 inches. 3 inches. I think I'm going to get about 15 signatures in here. So in terms of creating journals, I have never used digitals, printable digitals. I don't have a problem with printables. I'm not anti-digital. I just prefer to use old stuff, and I am fortunate enough to have fairly good access to old stuff. Seriously, better than a lot of people. So for that reason, I will continue to use old stuff. So I want to make a rounded spine for this. I'm going to grab a piece of an old folder here. Must have tape on it or something. Oh, it does. Okay. Yeah, so I prefer to find old paper, old ephemera. I got an extensive collection, and I find it by going to antique shows. I look online for online auctions. I like to go to estate sales. I'm just going to cut this off so it doesn't annoy me. So I have lots of opportunities to find good stuff. And when I find a lot of good stuff, I like to share on my Etsy shop. Okay. So I'm going to make a rounded or a curved spine. And yeah, I thought about 9 5/8. I'm going to take it down to 9. I'm going to take it down to 9.5, I think, so this can remain a little mushy. There is some paper that's coming away here. Okay. Ooh, got it all over me. Let's give you some demographic information. So I'm just 2 months away from my 55th birthday. I am married to Doug. If you are a regular viewer, you know Doug is the one that I have to shut the camera off for all the time because he's singing. Okay, I have 3 sons who are all currently in their 30s, all of whom have lovely partners that I adore. I have one granddaughter. She's 20 months old. Her name's Brooklyn. I used to have her 1 day a week to help with the child care situation, but right now her daddy has just lost his job and is currently looking for another position. So I'm not providing any child care help right now, but well, I don't have a dedicated day. For sure, I will take her anytime I can, and often we'll just drive up and steal her. That's the wrong size. Yeah, that's like 2.5 inches, Nancy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Brooklyn and I have great times. Okay, so this one's 3.5. I don't need to cut a new one. I just need to cut it at 3. We have all kinds of adventures. She talks a mile a minute. Most of the time I can understand her. Not many other people can. Okay, now to make a rounded spine, I'm going to wrap this around my rolling pin. So if you've never seen this before, I think I learned this from Catherine. So I do talk about her a lot in my videos. She talks about me a lot in her videos. We met through YouTube, but now we've become very, very good friends, and I don't know what I'd do without her now. She's the one person that for sure I communicate with daily. Even if it's just to send a funny meme online, but we often will turn on the old video call and have a crafty date where we just kind of swear at each other and talk about everything unrelated and related to paper crafting and junk journals. All right. We, I think in the new year, once Catherine has declared Christmas over at her house, we're going to do a collaborative project, sort of a challenge, if you will. Okay. Now, the wet glue will help me to round this spine without cracking, bending, breaking. Just got to make sure that the edges stay together. Okay. These are nylon knee highs. Who wears these anymore? Not me, not since COVID. Yeah, since COVID, and I was home for pretty much the better part of 2 years. My wardrobe has changed significantly. So I am wrapping this nylon tightly. So the glue will dry. The glue will dry and keep this curved shape. I generally leave this overnight. So mornings, like crack of dawn, is my usual crafting time because it's too early to do anything else. So, right, I've been up for about an hour. It's 6 o'clock now. I spent the first half an hour just tidying this dump. From the Christmas chaos that was my craft room. All right, there we go. I live in southern Ontario. In Canada. I should mention that. In my real job, I am a social worker. A kind of social work I do is in general related to legal issues. So I would say I'm doing brief solution-focused therapy. I'm not stealing anybody's babies. I'm not doing therapy, psychotherapy. I wouldn't be good at it. Love, love, love my job. So, all of my clients are living in poverty. Some are homeless, often dealing with issues of substance misuse, mental health, serious mental health issues. Yeah. Okay. So this piece is done. I'll put that there. Last year, I did a ton of work with a homeless encampment. I was practically camping there for 8 months myself. The problem is not resolved, and new encampments have popped up in my catchment area. This year, I'm leaving it to the youngins. So I have I work with 3 other social workers, and I currently have a social work student, a master's of social work student doing his practicum. So I'm leaving all the encampment work with them because it's a lot. It's a lot. And I just need a break from it. The youngins are more resilient than me. Okay. I think I'll keep that. Now, I would like to keep that first page. So let's see. Can I, oh, there they are. Ooh, look at that. 1, 2. I don't think I got both threads. Maybe I did. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll be easier to cut strings from the back. I don't know. Probably not, though. Okay, move you away. I would like to keep the front page. Oh, well, would you look at that? And this is all, I might keep all of, well, this isn't very Christmassy, but these pictures are. So maybe I will keep those with my Christmas stuff. It hasn't been put away yet. Okay. So, I'm going to use this as my front page. I'm going to measure it. So 9 1/4, and then I've got, it says 6 3/8. I am going to what do I need to take this off? I'm not using the blade, I'm using the top of the blade. Just to remove this extra bulk. Because that was interfering with my measuring. Okay. So I'm going to trim this down to 6 1/4. I'm not going to use my knife to cut it because it's old paper. And old paper sometimes does nothing but shred. This will go faster if I can find my pencil. There we go. Now, what scissors do I want? Okay. Now I'm going to grab a random page that I can use as a template. Look at all these guys. This one has a fewer. Okay. So I'm going to trim this down to 6 1/4. This time I'll use my knife because I don't care if it shreds. Oh, looks pretty good. And I need a pen. Remind myself this is a template for the quiver, and it is 6 1/4 inches that way, and it was 9 and just over 9 1/4. Is that what we had here? I felt like it was an even number. Yeah. I'm going with 9 1/4. So it's really crooked. a little long at this end, and then a little long at this end. There. All right, let's put that template aside. Now I am going to make I'm going to make a thing. So I'm going to make the back of the spine that I will sew my future signatures to. So let's get a measurement of 9 1/4 because the inside spine that the signatures get sewed to are the same height as the pages, or the maximum page height. I'm sure I will use shorter pages here and there. Just gonna square off this raggedy edge. And I'm gonna mark this 3 inches wide. Okay, now I'm gonna get a different ruler. If you've ever watched me do this before, I'm sorry. It is quite awful because I don't math very well. Okay, so we have 76, almost 77 millimeters. So I am going to go to let's call it 38 millimeters. And then I'm going to mark 5 millimeters apart. And when I'm done, we will know how many signatures I need to make. I like to leave an end of about a minimum of 2 millimeters, but 3 is good. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Exactly as I predicted. If you're not a metric user, 5 millimeters is about 1/4 of an inch. Slightly smaller than 1/4 of an inch. In fact, I used to do 1/4 of an inch, but then I found that was too wide apart. Okay. Anyway, I like to get up about 5 and grab my coffee, and sometimes I make a video, sometimes I don't. I'm making a video today because I didn't make one yesterday. I try to do Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday as a rule. But often there's more. Sometimes there's less. Just depends on what life brings. Sundays, kind of gotten a little bit away from my original intention on Sundays of being self-care Sundays, and talking a bit about mental health and the importance of taking time to complete activities of self-care in order to to be able to look after all the other people we need to look after in our life. Okay. My brain has just exploded. That's unfortunate. Okay. So, let's grab another ruler. So I like to mark horizontal lines, and each place where the horizontal line meets the vertical line is where there's going to be a hole for stitching. And all right, here comes the math part. So I mark, because it's such a big book, I'm doing 1 inch from the top and the bottom. If it's a smaller book, I might do 3/4 of an inch. So I have 7 1/4. And I need to divide that by 5. So that's 1, 4, 5. So about 1.5 inches. So from the one end, I will mark 2.5 and 4. And the other end, two and a half and 4.5. I said 4 before, but it was 4.5. That's a little too close together. And that's, you know why? It's not 4.5. It's full. 4. I said 4. I should have done 4. Okay. This is the painful part where I can't figure out numbers, and it's basically me babbling like an idiot for 20 minutes while I try to figure it out. Okay. Eraser. I'm going to redo this line because it's actually gone double. Okay. We want 2.5. So today's Wednesday. American Thanksgiving tomorrow. We had our Thanksgiving in October. If you're not Canadian, you might not know that our Thanksgiving happens about 6 weeks earlier. However, we do get the same Black Friday sales. I was looking at the flyers last night, and all the flyers like save 120, save blah blah blah, but it doesn't actually tell you what the sale price is, just that it's cheaper than normal. Oh, good coffee. All right. So that's what I'm sewing my 15 signatures together. And this is going to help me poke the holes through my signatures. So this will go in the center of my signatures, and I will poke, 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 poke. Put some of this stuff away. Okay. The next thing I need to do to prep is find some fabric, because I will be gluing this surface to fabric. I did have some coordinating blue fabric somewhere. You don't coordinate with anybody. I will just put that there for now. Okay, what have I got? This might not be blue enough. I think I want something bluer. Yeah. This is not what I want at all. Oh, this is kind of nice. This might work. And I got a big chunk of it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. Oh, look, she's in a little sled. Okay. I need to iron. All right, I have my fabric cut and ironed. So I'm going to glue this to the back. I cut a strip of fabric about 1.5 to 2 inches or 3 inches either side. So I think this is about 6 inches ish wide. Yeah. So in order to keep it straight, I'm just going to lay my ruler along this edge, and let's glue. The important thing about this fabric glue is you have to work fast because it dries fast, and you have to spread out the gloopy parts, otherwise it'll seep through the fabric. And we don't want that. So I have a silicone brush beside me. It was, I'm just putting some extra here. It was marketed as a makeup brush, but that's not what I'm using it for. So I'm just spreading the glue out so it's thin enough that it won't seep through the fabric, but still glue. Okay, 1.5 inches. I only needed about 1/2 inch longer on the end. So you'll see this end, it's only about 1/2 inch. I can trim this part away. Might be able to use that for something, a tab or a pull or decorate top of a something, I don't know. Okay. Next up I have my glue stick. This is my favorite glue. I have this stuff that I got locally because it was cheap, and I am using it up because I have a lot of it. But the disappearing purple glue stick from Target is what I prefer. I got these little sticks just before school started, because they were cheap at Target. But they usually come in a size like that. But I'm using it up. So it starts out purple, but it fades. So I'm just going to hoik that up. Oh, I know what I'm going to use this for. It just occurred to me. And then these little wings here, I'm just going to bend them down a bit. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want them hidden behind the new inside covers that we're going to make. Otherwise they might rise above and be noticeable. And we don't like that. We want it perfect. Okay. Now, at some point when this is all dry, I will use either a very big pin or a bead reamer to poke all the holes. So 15 times 6 is what? 90? So I got 90 holes to poke through, but not while the glue is still wet. We're going to let this dry. We might as well put it with the rolling pin and it can dry overnight. Well, it looks like I've been nearly an hour. If I get a chance to do some crafting later today, which I highly doubt, I will start working on assembling signatures. I might take pages from this book, I don't know. And I'm going to try something different. Usually about all of my signatures, half of the pages will sort of match all the other signatures. So for example, I would use a page of tea-dyed paper in every signature. I would use a page of the original text every signature. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to try. So we've got 15 signatures, and I usually like between 4 and 6 pages per signature, depending on how thick the paper is. So let's say 5 times 15 is 75. So I'm going to try to come up with 75 different papers. We'll see how that goes. All right, so I feel like this might take us through till, what's today, the 22nd? Probably mid-December before I get this journal done. I think I think I'm going to try to do a signature a day. See how that goes. I did that before, didn't I? Where I did my signatures and sewed them in individually. Sewed in a signature, made a signature, sewed that one in, went back, made a signature. I think I've done that before, so I might do that again. Yeah. All right. So next up, I am going to put this in the book press to see if I can get it flattened out a bit. And yeah, we'll come back, do some more assembly later. Take care. Have a great Wednesday. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.